There's detectives at her front door asking about a body that's in the house across the street. And asking about me living with her. 6 years or so after I left Ann's house. What a fucking trip. What a fucking trip. Really. Which brings up why I said this in the first place. Because Tentacion. Yeah, so he dies. He gets, shot dead down in Florida. I bumped into him at a 7-Eleven right here near this house. And then a day later or so, he's shot dead at a motorcycle dealership down in Florida. Wow. I could only wonder to my fucking self at this point in time, was it a Hells Angels motorcycle dealership? Or was it a pagan I'm not saying that they had anything to fucking do with this kid's death. Just for the simple fact, what was it being made to look like? That's why. So, what's really interesting from that point is I start telling Ray. I'm like, Ray, I just bumped into this kid. I swear to God, I had nothing to do with this. Ray's like, what are you talking? And we start talking, and he's like, He's like, Anthony, he's like, why don't you try to reach out to the kid's parents? I said, yeah, okay, sure. Best way I know how, make a couple videos, title them XXX Tentacion, put my fucking name, address, and my phone number, and say, give me a call. I need to speak. My fucking arm. I think I broke my fucking arm. I honestly do. It hurts like way up here. This is where my fucking arm hurts. Like it hurts like it's hurting up this whole bone right here. It's crazy. That's not a fucking sprain. I fractured my fucking arm by fucking gently bumping it up against the fucking wall. Are you kidding me? Back to what I was saying, in extreme pain that I'm in at this moment. I can move the fucking thumb. I can move the fingers. I can move the wrist. It's the bone. Holy shit. So, that's interesting. And, what was I saying? Yeah, my friend Ray tells me, reach out to his father. Reach out to his family. So I did the best thing I could do, was put a fucking video up. I said, here's my address. Here's my phone number. Call me. Because at this point, I'm just as confused as maybe you are. Maybe you are. And I didn't say it that. I said it as respectful as I possibly could. So over the next 2 months or so, me and Ray were talking here and there throughout the fucking summer about this once in a while when he's showing up. And what's really interesting is right is fucking, I get fucking pissed off because Ray starts, every time that Ray's coming around now, Ray's bringing up fucking Tupac. And I had enough of the fucking videos that were just constantly being bombarded into my fucking phone with Tupac. And I'm like, look, man, I'm so sick of fucking hearing about Tupac and blah, blah, blah. But then Ray's like, well, do you know a little something about Tupac, Ant? I'm like, what's that? And I completely forgot that I went head to head with Tupac, right? But I did remember, I said, holy shit, that was fucking Tupac. I remember fucking solidifying in my fucking head at that moment that I had went up against fucking, because I had just seen the fucking video with him wearing that fucking, and I was like, wow, that had to be fucking Tupac then. Rayvon, the whole fucking time, was working on the Tupac thing. Now, Rayvon was a member of the NCAA, the NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, right? I try to remember this now, because it's out of respect for Ray, but it's still, where the fuck is the O? Natural advancement of. Where the fuck is the O? I don't know. Why isn't it the A? What the fuck? Why isn't it the A? The N A O A F C P Q? Okay, look. What I'm saying, I'm sorry, Ray. The bottom line is that I'm thinking Ray was a member of that. But then he starts telling me about Tupac being a member of the Black Panthers. And how Tupac was born in jail. And he was born straight into the Black Panthers. Now, that's really fucking interesting, right? So this whole fucking time, for all these fucking years, I'm going up secretly up against the fucking Black Panthers, right? Okay. That's one. That's not to mention the Bloods, the fucking Crips, the fucking this, the fucking folk, the fucking military, the fucking this, the that, the fucking the MI5, MI6, MI fucking 11, who the fuck knows? Plus the fucking feds, plus the fucking CIA, the DOJ, the NSA. Now, Ray tells me that Tupac was born into the Black Panthers. And just as I started to realize that that was Tupac, but I don't even think I got it. Did I even get a chance to explain that that was Tupac to Ray? I don't think I did. That's the whole thing that started triggering. I'm like, well, yeah, but fuck Tupac anyway, blah, blah, blah. So Ray very calmly, Ray starts to bring up a black and yellow jacket. And he's like, Anthony, he's like, did you ever lose a jacket? I'm like, yeah, I lost a couple jackets in my life. But, I mean, you want to be a little bit more specific, Ray, you know? He's like, well, did you ever have a jacket that was black and yellow? And I was like, yeah, I had a fucking jacket. Now, in my head, the first thing I thought was my bubble jacket. And then there was my other bubble jacket. Reversible fucking black and yellow. Both jackets were black and yellow. That was my fucking school's fucking colors. He goes, no, Anthony. He goes, and these weren't school jackets. He goes, no, Anthony. He goes, freaking, like when you were little. Like, did you ever lose like a school jacket? And I go, yeah. I go, fucking, yeah, man. And it had fucking, he's like, did it have your name on it? I was like, yeah, it had my fucking name on it. It was embroidered in the fucking, in the side of the jacket, right? So, I'm like, wait a minute. How the fuck do you know about my jacket? He goes, because we have your jacket. Now, I don't know who the fuck Ray was talking about. I don't know whether it was the NAACP or the Black Panthers or even the fucking police, and here's why I'm wondering about that. Because although I don't get a chance to really speak to Ray, because once I go in my house, because after dropping the freaking N-bomb, like, probably 100 times in front of his wife, this is how decent of friends we were. He knew when I was pissed off, and I kept saying, I'm sorry, Ray. I fucking keep saying it. It keeps coming out. I'm so sorry, man. That's the bottom line. It's like he's like, I'm not mad at you. He goes, I'm not mad at you. He's like, nah, man. He's like, I'm mad at something else. He's like, you didn't do nothing wrong, Anthony. He's like, I'm like, all right, man. I'm like, you sure, bro? Because you look upset, and I don't know what the freaking, I'm sorry that I cursed so much, and I apologize to his wife, apologize to him. But he had something else on his brain at that moment. And personally, I'm sitting there wondering to myself, when I came in, I'm sitting there, what the fuck was he thinking about? What the fuck was he thinking about? Now remember, this Tentacion kid just passed away only about a month and a half, 2 months maybe prior. So I'm putting it all together. I'm like, holy fucking crap. So Ray was working on the fucking Tupac thing. And he knew where my jacket was found. But when I asked him where that jacket was found, he said, you don't want to know where that jacket was found. But it was found out here. And I know that from a phone call that my father received. And that was about 1.5 years or so after my mother was looking for that jacket and could not find that jacket. Because I left it at my friend Danny's house. way back in 4th or 5th grade. Now, what's really interesting is all of a sudden, Ray, after 2 years of not drinking, Ray goes back to fucking drinking, and supposedly he's crossing a fucking road around here, and one car cuts left, one car cuts right, and another car comes up the middle and fucking smacks Ray dead. And I get a phone call from Ray's wife telling me that Ray passed away. You know, I tried calling him like twice before that. He didn't pick up the phone, which you know, normally he would call me back. So I was thinking he was mad, didn't want to talk to me, but I was also fucking mad too. It's like, and I didn't want to talk to him, but I tried to call him, and it was weird that he didn't pick up the phone. Because at that point in time, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's all, and also, what extended that was when Mac passed away. And when Mac passed away on, guess what? The same fucking day that Tupac Shakur was shot. Mac Miller. Right after fucking XXX Tentacion passes away, Mac Miller passes away. These fucking cigars, man. It's like they look lit. And it's like you get no smoke. Anyway. So now Rayvon's out the picture. This is after Sean Allen supposedly passed away, which I believe I don't know what to fucking believe. To tell you the truth, I don't know what to fucking believe. I don't know who the fuck is alive and who's not the fuck alive at this point. You know, it's not like I didn't fucking. That's what I'm saying. It's like I still remember the spot after, out on Staten Island. I still remember the fucking spot that after Biggie and Tupac both passed away, they came out of fucking nowhere, and we were sitting there smoking a fucking, because I was smoking the blunt by myself, and then they showed up. So I'm just wondering in my fucking head, like, I was like, no way. You know, Tupac's attitude that day was so much different than the other 2 times that I met Tupac. Biggie was not a very big person. So, that's why I'm just wondering about that to myself, you know. Because I already know that I can see ghosts. Then physically fucking obviously do other shit with the ghosts. You know what I'm saying? But the point being is that, you know, it's like, just makes me wonder. Really wonder. Now, as far as Tupac's deceased mama goes. So, right before Sean Allen passes away, I tell Sean about Bitcoin and what they're planning to do against Ari's family. They were planning to fucking destroy Ari's family. But also, I held back because I didn't know how fucking real everything. That was right before I got a chance to tell him, because they threw me in a fucking mental hospital, that Ariana, on top of that, her show was about to be fucking attacked. And that was 10 years before it happened. I was said that's had to be what the fuck they were talking about. And sure as shit, when I got thrown into that fucking hospital, 80 days, I'm sitting there, like in the very, very start, that wasn't even coming out of my fucking mouth. for them to have fucking locked me up in the fucking mental hospital. I was there for blood work because I was getting one of my teeth fixed, which never got fixed for another fucking so many years later. Walking around with another fucking toothache for fucking 2 years. Yo, man. Wow. Well. The point being is that before Sean died, I tell Sean about what I remember overhearing about pretty much Bitcoin, what they were planning to do with Bitcoin. And I never get a chance to tell him about the concert being blown up. I do spit it out my mouth as they're fucking throwing me, as I'm surrounded by police officers, with the doctor that thinks he's a fucking wise ass, with the black curly fucking hair, right? Getting me thrown into a fucking mental hospital. And you want to know something? 80 days or so. Almost 80 days in that fucking hospital. And I fucking had a mental snap, and I said, motherfucker, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Because I was having an argument with a fucking retarded fucking, what seemingly was a mentally fucked up child. But it wasn't a child. I mean, it was, she just a little cunt. And I said, you know, and then they're gonna fucking attack this girl's show, and blah, 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 and I don't know what the fuck you think about life, and blah, blah, blah. And I said this, and no shit. 10 days after that fucking bullshit eruption, 10 days later, all those little kids get blown up over in Manchester. Now, 3 days after that, they let me out the hospital. About a couple days after that, I go down to go see my friend Sean Allen. Picks me up from the bus stop. I go back to the house, and just when I'm there, I'm like, holy shit. Took me a few hours to realize where the fuck I was. I was like, holy shit. The next day, once I seen I was like, holy shit, this is the fucking same motherfucking place that they supposedly raped my cousin so many years prior. The house I was at right before this supposedly happened. And one of the people's faces that were there was that of David Lee's. And I find it funny that it's when I got back, after them trying to also kill Mr. fucking Allen, while I was at his house, which was the fucking place that basically they supposedly raped my cousin years prior. Holy shit. It's really funny, man, because it's like wow, it's like all those years later, and it's like freaking. The point being is that I wanted to get back to my place. And when I got back to my place, because Sean was acting weird mood swings, and he laid in bed for fucking 2 days. He thought it was a bad pork sandwich that he had picked up from the fucking store. I'm sitting there saying to him, I'm like, yeah, man. He's like, that's why I don't really buy pork or anything, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, ever since I ate that fucking sandwich, he's like, sorry, Anthony, blah, blah, blah. You know, he's like, next time, you know, come back with some money and we'll go do some things. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, I'm sorry that I didn't have, because I would have taken you out, blah, 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 if I had some money on me right now. Right. But while I was at his house, he was flipping the fucking Bitcoin in his hand. And he's like, you see this? He's like, you ain't got shit to worry about. He's like, you did this. Yeah. So my point is that the concept was already attacked at that point. I mean, it's like I was trying to. It doesn't even fucking matter at that point, right? But what does matter is that after I got back from that like 3-day trip down to his house, I come back, and a few days later on July 4th, my house gets shot at. Can't get him on the phone. The next time I'm able to get Sean on the phone was supposedly, from what I seen date and time wise of him passing away, because I wouldn't even find this out until months later because I was pissed at him during that phone call. He passed away about 3 days after that phone call, where I cursed him out saying, are you stupid? They were trying to kill you while I was at your fucking house so that if you died, I'd be there, right there. That's what made him stutter. That's what made him freaking shut the fuck up, because he started going, he was happy until I started freaking yelling. He was happy about him going for his license and fucking flying license and all this other shit. And when I started yelling at him, and he listened to what I was saying, that's when he started fucking, he stopped. And I said some fucking mean shit that I'm not so fucking 100% sure of. Now see, now when I say sure of, it's like Lisa and the pool incident. I'm not 100% certain that was Sean Allen, because after Sean passed away, I bumped into like fucking 6 people that at least 2 of those fucking people very much so resembled fucking what Sean Allen looked like. Now, then there's also another man that I'm not even going to bring up right this second. Another man which I signed contracts with other than the FBI, CIA, DOJ. So, that's why that's all very interesting there. And at that point, Sean was already dead when the Tentacion kid passed away. Then Ray dies. And before both of those people died, there was Junior McLaughlin. Now, Junior started to bring up the contracts to me. When I started waking up to some shit that was going on, like that I was being poisoned, somehow, some way, because I wasn't sleeping and this and that, and a couple people said, Anthony, maybe you're being fucking drugged. And I'm like, how is that possible, man? It's like, I watch... Nah, man, it's possible, right? So, I'm not going to go into all this shit. So the bottom line is that he passes away, but it's interesting, before he passes away, the conversations that keep getting cut out. Every time he's like, oh, Anthony, you got to hear what I'm saying to you, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like the phone clips, and then fucking, I don't hear anything but him snoring. And then it's like, right then again, I hear the phone click again, and he's screaming and yelling at me, telling me that freaking, am I listening, asking me if I'm listening. He's like, Anthony, all this is very important. You need to know this. This is stuff about your life. And he's like, I'm trying to fucking be honest with you and all this other shit. And wow. Yeah, supposedly, and we've talked about this a couple times, there's no conclusion to his death exactly either. He died in one spot, then he died in another spot, and then this happened, and then that happened, and then, nobody even gives a fuck. That's why it's really funny when I say, "Oh, look at this," and then it's like this person looks up the date and time when this kid supposedly hanging himself passed away, and the dates don't add up to when it actually took place back when I was in high school. Still. But what's funny is that the one article they were able to pull up about a person that passed away, named this, born in this year, it's really interesting that that's one of the dates that I remember them re-bringing up, a person re-bringing up to me that this kid passed away just recently. And it was like, no, dude, this kid passed away 6 years prior. Now, I didn't know this kid, but I knew the story about this. To the degree that I knew the story. Because for some fucking weird reason, my name was brought up around about that time period. Now, this kid was supposedly born on September 7th, 1986. Bullshit. Now, I said to my friend, how does that add up? You just told me that this person was 2 years older than this person. How the fuck does that add up? And they were like, well, you know, and then they realized, none, it doesn't fucking add up. None of it fucking adds up. So then I'm thinking to myself, wow, that's really interesting, because what's the other fucking story? I was just about to say. Bavarian Inn, swimming pool, this, that. I'm mentioning different stories at this point. The little girl passing away and me almost being drowned in the swimming pool, the setup at the fucking Bavarian Inn, the attempted setup at the Bavarian Inn, the freaking this, the that, the this, the Tupac thing, the freaking, oh, that's right too, here's another one. When I was out here and smoked a blunt with the motherfucker in the house over there, in the little side area, where supposedly a girl was murdered, and detectives came right up to me and started questioning me about a girl being murdered in the fucking little fucking co-side of the fucking house over here. Wow. Yeah, that was Frank Gallo too. Supposedly. Wow. All those years ago. That's not what I was trying to fucking... So the Tentacion kid passes away. Who'd Sean Allen passes away. Rayvon passes away. Mac Miller passes away on September 7th, same day that Tupac was shot, and same day that this kid was supposedly born, even though that doesn't seemingly add up. Oh, that's right. The kid that introduced me to Robert Lee Ashley all those years ago down in Florida. On guess where? The same fucking block where my parents ended up fucking have living. Wow. Why the fucking kid that I'm sitting there considering Frank Gallo, aka Loki, meanwhile fucking more than likely it was David Lee. And that was right probably around the same about time that the fucking I got into the girl's car. That was right around about the same time that I got into the girl's car, who looked like Nicole Perez, and I ended up in California, where Paul Flores turns around to me and confesses that he murdered Kristen Smart. He told me what he did with the body. He told me where he put the body first, then where he moved the body to, then, from what I understand, wherever I fucking picked it up, a third location where they fucking moved the body. And then from there, the possible, only a few years ago, being said that they were going to fucking put the fucking body in the place that I ended up. So now I'm thinking Kristen Smart's body may or may not be in this fucking area. More than likely, there's another body in the fucking area, obviously due to the squirrel bringing me the human foot bone on my front porch. Because I would definitely fucking, at that point, I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, I mean, that was just randomly fucking, holy fucking crap, there's a squirrel bringing a human foot bone to my front porch. So that makes me really wonder whether that was... because that's why I just cut that little fucking hole up in the fucking attic and checked out if that fucking little girl's dead body was up in the fucking attic. Even though it didn't look like a little girl's foot bone. Because it looked, you know, like I'm fucking saying it. I looked at my own fucking foot and I'm saying, well, that would be just about the damn size of a fucking, of an adult's foot bone. Wow, man. Didn't want to get sidetracked. Where the fuck is this? Right. So the girl that fucking... Because here's the rest of those stories. I gotta go get fucking coffee. I gotta go get some coffee, man.